No doubt the October 7th massacre, war, and hostage crisis has inspired people from around the world to be a voice for justice and truth in the face of anti-Semitic and anti-Israel narratives. And one such person is Jayne Wynick, author of the book, A Voice from the Heart, A Year of War. And we're very happy to have her joining us in studio right now. Thank you for coming in and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
A very big accomplishment. I think it's interesting how after October 7th and seeing in the immediate aftermath, those of us that were not activists all of a sudden sprung into action. Absolutely. Explain exactly how this whole thing organically happened to you in the first place.
Okay, so on October the 7th, we watched everything unfold. We checked in on our families and our friends here and just were glued to the television. And a part of me thought, okay, this is awful, but at least people will get it. And on October the 8th, we realised people were not getting it. The backlash was just horrific. And for 3 or 4 days, I just raged and cried and felt I had to put something on paper. And the thing that inspired me to start writing something every day was the thought of Ariel and Kfir Bibas. Ariel looked like my grandson. I felt I couldn't go on posting grandma pictures on Facebook. So I said I was going to write every day until they were home. And that's what happened. I started writing every day.
So was it pressure or did it all happen organically? Because once you make that commitment, it's like, oh, okay, now how do I find content I want to post every day?
It was very organic. It really is a voice from the heart. Every day you'd wake up, check your news sources, check social media, see what had gone on overnight, and there'd always, unfortunately, be something new to write about.
Unfortunately, it was spoon-fed in many ways, just in real time.
Yes, yeah, right. Definitely.
So, with that said, were you surprised at the following? I mean, did the following happen organically, or did you all of a sudden learn how to?
It happened organically. It really did. I was writing on Facebook, and I was trying to share it with non-Jewish content people and groups. But that wasn't really working. I really started to want to write for non-Jewish people to combat what was going on, especially in the UK with the BBC and Sky and social media all not getting what was going on. But that didn't really happen. I got too much hate or I got banned. So I started slowly sharing it with different Jewish groups across the world, in Israel, in England. And then probably sort of into November started to get people messaging me, phoning me, contacting me in any way. And that grew and grew and grew. And what they were saying is, you're saying what we feel. And, it's so good to hear somebody else feeling that. We feel so alone.
That was the challenge, right? That we were feeling all alone, especially those of you that were not in Israel, that were surrounded by all of these protests. So putting it into a book, was it kind of, in a way, written for you because you had a chronological account of everything?
It was definitely, I didn't set out to write a book. I never thought I'd write a book. My husband, I think in about April, May, said, there's a book here. And after that, a friend said, well, I've done some editing, so I can help you with this. So we decided that a year would be a good place to stop to make a book, although I'm still writing every single day. And that's really been what's happened, that, we had the content. It then had to be made into something that was a bit more readable than just my literal rantings every morning, and to check facts and check sources and that we weren't saying anything wrong. So the editing process was probably more than I thought, and the proofreading, and I've had a lot of help from people who believed in the project and convinced me that this was a historical document, really, that the voice from the diaspora is very different from the voice here in Israel, and we desperately want to support everybody in Israel from the diaspora, but we are also going through something that's a little different as well. And, we've said...
exactly. We're facing going into bomb shelters. But you're facing being surrounded by it.
Yeah. I think what we're facing, in a lot of the West is, where do our futures lie? And that's really a biggie. And from the book really came some of the things. We started a resilience group where people can come together and just sound off and talk in a safe place and listen to the problems that they're having, whether it's work, schooling, universities, family, friends, lots of people losing lots of friends and, their lives changing a lot. And that's really quite a special group of people. And then we started doing advocacy in Leeds as well, where I live in the north of England, going out talking to people and, keeping writing, just keeping writing.
Wow, amazing. And now I know the book is being released, so
It
I'm
is.
sure that's going to be the next chapter is being able to share it,
Yeah.
potentially, you know, book tours, speaking to
Yes,
groups.
yeah,
so
I'm happy to talk
Now you
anywhere.
got the document, now the work begins.
It does, it does, it does.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations. Amazing
you.
how much creativity, you know, is fostered by necessity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knew? Who knew we had it in us, right?
I think that's one of the nice things that
Yeah.
it has brought a whole community together.
Yeah. And then the support, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Everybody wanting to feel like they're doing
Exactly.
something, even if you're not able
Thank
to
you.
physically be
Yeah.
here doing that. Well, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Once again, Jayne Wynick. The book is called Voice from the Heart, A Year of War. Make sure to check it out.